Back to Bible Talks with Belinda. Today I'm going to share a dream with you all that I had last night. I think it was early this morning, January 25th, 2026. And I'm going to title this dream, The Barter System is Coming Back. All right. So last night, the dream started out. I was in this huge warehouse, and there were items from I'm literally from the floor that were on the floor all the way up to the top of the ceiling. All right. So there were it was this huge warehouse, and it was just so much stuff everywhere. And I was there as a customer. I brought some items to the warehouse. I had no money on me. I brought some items to the warehouse to barter and trade at this location. So the guy that was at the front desk, he had my items, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what I brought to the warehouse. But I remember what I got from the warehouse. All right. So I go into this warehouse, and one of the things that I pick out is canned goods. I'm walking through the warehouse, and I'm picking out different types of canned goods, canned meats, canned beans, canned soup. The second thing I picked up was a huge, probably like a gallon tub of oil. It was cooking oil and a gallon of vinegar. All right. The third thing that I picked up, which I found really strange, were these items. Those items that I mentioned before, they were on like the bottom floor, but I had to climb up on a stack of items that were on the ground floor to reach the second level. And on the second level, I was digging through some items, and I pulled out some old vinyl records, some old black vinyl records that you may not be, if you're younger generation, you may not be familiar with it, but back in the days, like in the 70s, the 60s and stuff, the 30s and all that, they had old black vinyl records that they used to play and use for entertainment. All right. So after I got my items, I had them all ready. And if I remember correctly, the vital records that I got were like um comedy, music, jazz. I can't remember. I think it was some Christian records that were in there as well. But I got all these items, and I made my way up to the front, and then the dream ended. All right, so when I woke up from the dream, I said, you know what? That I don't think there's any significance to that dream. And then I realized that I was actually in a storehouse. And I realized that, oh, you know what? I didn't have any money. I brought items to be exchanged um, at this location. And then there is significance to the items that I got, which were canned goods, oil, and vinyl records. Now, the vinyl records kind of threw me off a little bit, but the only thing that I can think of regarding the vinyl records is if something catastrophic was to happen, God forbid, the ability to access entertainment would be very limited. We just had a situation recently where um, all the Verizon carriers were down for almost a day. And just think if something on a larger scale was to happen, and you had no way to access internet. You had no way to access any kind of digital form of entertainment. Vinyl records would be, especially something if you have a collection of vinyl records, you can pretty much get through like jazz, playing music. You don't have to rely on a digital form of music. You can play your vinyl records. You wouldn't have to rely on a TV screen to view movies and comedy shows, or whatever your thing is. You can put that vinyl record on, and you could play that vinyl record for your entertainment, so that you don't go so you don't go crazy is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if the way that I'm explaining it, and maybe somebody in the comments can explain it better, but just think, if everything went down, your power is still working, but you cannot access anything digitally. You would have a vinyl record to play. I hope that makes sense. um, so guess who's going to be shopping for vinyl records? I do have some actually already, but this dream highlighted the value of vinyl records that's coming, because I remember, I vaguely remember in the dream while I was shopping, and I had got the canned goods, I had got the oil, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking the stuff that I brought here does not, the value of it is not equivalent to the items that I brought here. And I remember thinking, like, I need to get something else that is going to be equivalent or more valuable than the stuff that I brought here. So I climbed up to that second level, and I had to dig for this. It was not something that I was able to see on the ground floor as I'm walking through. I had to put effort, and it was almost like it was hidden, and I had to go in and I had to dig. And then I remember pulling out the vinyl records, and like in the dream, I'm actually showcasing to myself as I'm watching myself do it. I'm like showcasing the different records that I pull out. And I remember having this satisfaction to, like, okay, I got what I came for. I got the value that I needed. So as I meditated on this more and more, do y'all remember that movie that Netflix did like 2 years ago? That movie came back to my mind. And I'm going to show you all something here. That movie, y'all, is so you know, that movie is so symbolic in so many ways that it's really unreal. I remember watching that movie, and I watched it one time and I was like, oh Lord, we need to be in prayer. But that movie, Leave the World Behind, I was trying to remember if you all watched the movie at the very end, and that little girl, she went to a house, and it had um in this entertainment room, this huge entertainment room. She made it to this house at the end, and in that room, it was like DVD players, CD players, it was canned goods, and if I'm not mistaken, if you remember the rental house that the couple was in when all the stuff hit the fan, they were in this huge, and I'm gonna try to find a picture of it, in this huge room. It was called a listening room. It was nothing but vinyl records in there. Like, wow. Like, I remembered that movie because I remember how symbolic the vinyl records, y'all, is going to be so much value in those vinyl records. Let me try to find a picture real quick. All right, so I did a quick, because I couldn't remember um where at in that movie those vinyl records were. But look, guys, I typed in "Leave the World Behind," where there are vinyl records in the movie. What did I put at the end? Because I thought that little girl. Oh, yes, here it is. Okay, so look at this. It says, yes, the bunker safe room and leave the world behind, where the girl Rose ends up, does feature a dedicated, extensive physical media collection, which includes numerous vinyl records alongside the Friends DVDs. The room is designed for long-term survival with high-end audio equipment featuring a vinyl wall and a Macintosh turntable. Okay, it says here the room it is a well-stocked, secure bunker in a neighbor's house featuring a massive media collection. Vinyl records. The shelves are filled with vinyl, with some viewers noting specific authentic records, including some impulse, I don't know what that means, records present in the scene. Audio equipment, the setup is a Macintosh MT2 turntable. I'm gonna be looking for one of those, known for high-end analog sound. Purpose: the focus on physical analog media represents a safe haven from the digital collapse, allowing Rose to finally watch Friends. Because if you remember in the movie, she wanted to. I can't quite remember, but she wanted to watch Friends, and I don't think her nobody would let her watch it. All right, guys. So the vinyl records actually were shown in two different locations in this movie. If you all remember the Airbnb that they rented when everything went crazy in the city. So look at the type of players that they had. These were able, if I'm not mistaken, their phones had went completely dead. All communication was down, but they were still able to use this analog radio system to get information about what was going on. So that's significant as well. So if you were to get one of these old vinyl record players, get one that has the analog radio connection on it, and you can probably plug this into your generator. All right. Also, so this was the listening room. I remember and guys, I have not watched this movie since it came out. It looks like it came out 2 years ago from this Reddit post or whatever. um but I remember this list. I remember all these vinyl records. So when they couldn't have any other entertainment, it was nothing else for their entertainment. They would go down to this listening room and listen to these old vinyl records. The ones that I saw that had value in the dreams, the ones that I was pulling up, they were like from like old time, like 60s, 70s, and stuff like that. I don't remember, but I remember it was like older type vinyl records that had value. So, y'all, the face that I'm making right now, that is real live reaction to what I just read. So, you can, I tell you all, these dreams, they're coming, and there is preparation for something that is getting ready to happen. Now, I don't know how long, of a period that we have before we go to this system. And it may be that it's only for a period of time, say like 2 weeks or a month or whatever. Um, I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I will tell you about right before silver. I talked about this in the video before where I talk about the AI Asian guy, and the Lord laid on my heart to get into silver. And right before silver like went crazy, in my dream I saw literally, so let's say this is a silver coin, right? I had a flash of a dream, And in that dream, I saw this huge silver coin, like the size of this. It was magnified in my dream, and it was spinning around like that. In my dream, I saw a silver coin spinning around. And I remember when I woke up from the dream, I was like, did I dream of a silver coin? And I couldn't remember really what that dream was. That's why it's important for me to come on here and record my dreams right away. I couldn't quite remember, but right after that, silver literally exploded. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wish I would have bought more silver when I had that dream, because it was literally right before silver exploded. I had that dream. So anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. But I just wanted to come on here and share this dream with you all, because I didn't realize until I actually started recording this video, and that movie came back to me, how significant these items, especially the vinyl records. The vinyl records, I think we're gonna see something crazy happen with vinyl records. All right. So God bless, and let me know what you think about this video in the comments.